All right, so our topic today is how to promote academic integrity and how to reduce, eliminate, or even, to prevent plagiarism. It's very common. It's a common topic, that everybody speaks about it, colleges, universities, high school, elementary school. And usually I start with what? With a nice joke. In 1986, I came to Minnesota. I think my first exam, I come back from home from Israel. There is cheating, you know, in exams. So I come, the first session, the first class, after 3 weeks, the instructors give us a kind of exam and he leaves the classroom. And I will start looking. Nobody really cheating, nobody trying, to copy from anybody. And I said, Jesus, why they don't cheat? So I come from a kind of, the cheating is very common. I come to Minnesota with the 24 students, so the instructors leave us alone with the idea that my psychologist still back home from Israel, Middle East, that, students cheat. But nobody thought to cheat or to ask anybody, during the session of the exam. So it seemed to me there is a culture of integrity, and I think that what we are trying to enhance and promote at this university. Let us start with this topic, the roots of this issue. I think the first one really to discuss plagiarism is Ben Jonson. Rahel Ben Jonson is considered like Shakespeare, very famous poet, English poet in the 17th century. English. I think they consider him just like either like Shakespeare or even the same type of a class. And he was writing about plagiarism. And as you know, the root of plagiarism really, Latin word. Everything good comes from Latin words. Even stealing, kidnapping, literary theft is a plagiarism comes from Latin word. Now, definition of plagiarism is really interesting. I think everybody knows it's scientific misconduct. The other one, intellectual shoplifter. The other one, the theft of intellectual property. And thought thief. And these are really, just like all of them, the connotation is a thief, is stealing something that does not belong to you. And this time is intellectual theft. If you think about it, it's not coming really just at this university or really in the field of science, technology, cybersecurity is coming across disciplines, philosophy, medicine, political science, almost prevalent in every type of field in the United States and across countries. Now, if you think about famous poets, Scott, who were plagiarizing Shakespeare, this is the star of poetry. Yes, he was accused of plagiarism. Mark Twain was accused of plagiarism. And I think my best poet in high school, Edgar Allan Poe. This is my first time to know that he was accused of plagiarism. These are among the top high-class poets. Also among philosophers, those who are really shaped our psychology about the universe, Descartes, who said, I think, therefore I exist. He was accused of plagiarism. Second one is Sartre, the father of existentialism. He also was accused of plagiarism. Other ones, really, I don't know their name, but Scott and Rachel, Martin Luther King. Speeches were, to some extent, issues of plagiarism. So it's across disciplines, across what? Across philosophy, across science, among authors, among poets, among scientists. If we think we have two levels here of analysis, if you are faculty member also are accused, are engaged in plagiarism. So at this page, we'll think about, you are a faculty member. And here are the types of plagiarism when it comes to what? You are supposed to publish, publications. This is the type of plagiarism. If you cut, copy, and paste, this is the first type. Just copy, paste without referencing or citing the source. Cut and paste. This is one type. The second type is the source, which is a little bit really weird here. Source, Scott, if you copy something and you think you don't copy and paste, but you don't check the references. Suppose you're copying one of my articles, idea, and you are writing it with your own words. Richard, he is writing it with his own words, but still he does not check the reference and if the source is accurate. You understand? So even though you copy from something, you need to check the source and the reference. The second one, patch writing. This is absolutely when you take a paragraph from somebody else and you rephrase it completely like it's your own without citing the reference or citing the source. And lots of us doing it. We rephrase. And some people encourage you to rephrase. I will say refrain. Stop rephrasing. Use your own words. So rephrasing without, you are really encouraged not to rephrase. Use summary and put what? So the idea that some faculty, they tell us, hey, rephrase, use your own word. Yes, use your own, but summarize. It should be not rephrasing, but summarizing the idea and writing between the brackets the source. The second one is among authors, writers, self-plagiarism. Suppose I wrote one article 7 years ago, and here in 2023, I am rewriting part of this article, copy and paste, pretending this is mine. Nobody will accuse me of plagiarism. Yes, it's plagiarism. So you need to write the previous source. Even if it's your own work. So the first one, cut and paste. The second is what? You did not check the source and the references. The third one, self-plagiarism. You copy your own work. Suppose you cut 2 paragraphs, 3 paragraphs from one article that you have published several years ago, and you did not cite the reference or the citation. This is plagiarism. Some, faculty, suppose I'm a new faculty, I would like what? Either you publish or just go home. So I can send the same publication to several journal at the same moment. You are not supposed to do that. You have to send the publication to one journal, wait for their response. If they encourage you to resubmit, once again, welcome. But you cannot submit your article to different journal at the same time. You have to wait one by one. Okay? Because some people use it for promotion. So why should I wait for that journal? Maybe they will, maybe they will fail me. Maybe they will reject the article. So I'll send it to other journals. Nope. It's a plagiarism. The third one, and this is very interesting. Ghostwriting. Scott, you and me, we have a project together, writing a paper together, writing assignment together. We have to write both of our names. But if I devoted more time and energy on this paper, and I put Scott as the first, this is plagiarism. You understand? Although it is a group project, but somebody did not work as hard, did not devote, did not spend time, energy, and devotion, but we put him the first for some reason. This is cheating, this is plagiarism. All right? The last one, which is very common among the students and faculty, sometimes they what? They go outside, they ask somebody to write them the paper, and they add a little bit. This is what? How we pronounce it? All right, so there are almost 7 types of plagiarism among faculty members. This is when you come, you want to publish. Some of them are common also, are shared by students. We'll go to the student themselves. Here what we have found, or researchers who are doing research, this is really interesting topic. It really varies by culture. It varies by gender. It varies by schools. And this is a good study for me maybe in the future if I still have energy to do a study, cross-cultural plagiarism. The first type of among the students here, if I would like to study plagiarism among the students, there are only 3 types. One is what? Stealing. Simply, Rachel, do me this homework, I'll pay you. The second one, what? So simply, I'll buy, buying a paper. The second type, you copy the whole text or 2 pages from a book written by Scott without referencing it. So the first one, write me a paper, I'll pay you. And this is lots of students, they do it. The second one, copy and paste, without giving the quotation mark and the page and the reference. The third type is what? Submitting what? I take a homework of other students, and they have seen this in this university, and they will submit it as their own. All right? So I take it from Scott. Scott, please close your eyes. This semester I'm done. I'm tired of this faculty. I'll submit it. So simply buying, copying completely without any citation, and the third one, taking a homework or assignment or homework from somebody else. This is stealing. The second type is copying, like what we see. Copy without. Copy, cut, and paste without citation. And the third type is what? Paraphrasing. And I have seen lots of faculty say, rephrase, paraphrase, rewrite. This should not be encouraged. The text should be summarized and the source should be cited, but not to write, the idea with your own rephrase the same. Some people are smarter writing, so they rephrase the whole paragraph. This is not encouraged. And minimally, encouraged, but you have to cite the reference. The second one, using what? The artificial intelligence. And trust me, blindly you can tell if a student's writing with his own words, his own competency, or using artificial intelligence. So, among the students, there are 3 types: stealing, buying, taking somebody's assignment. The second one, simply copying and paste. The third one, paraphrasing or rephrasing. This is still plagiarism. It has to be minimum, and you need to cite. The third one, what we are really experiencing, artificial intelligence. Now, why students, motives, drives, correlate, causes of what? Of plagiarism. Lots of students, they don't know how to summarize or they don't know how to rephrase. They are naive. They finish high school. Nobody really letting them know, explaining to them about plagiarism. So many students out of, lack of understanding. They don't have any intention, but they don't know how to summarize or to rephrase. So we should not blame this group of students. We need to consult and help. The second one, simply not to say, hey, let me improve my GPA, even through stealing, through cheating. So this is intentional. Some people are really engaged, busy, working hard, so time management. The best thing is let me copy and paste, because I don't have time. The third one is what? I will say attitudes. No reason why they should not plagiarize if everybody is doing it. Why should be I profit, the prophet and everybody is what? Using it and getting A. The third one is what? Defiance. They don't respect authority. They don't respect codes of what? How to behave. So simply disobedience. The sixth reason, simply you find it's more common among some faculty because they are nice. Trust me, it's more common with Dr. Elbedour because I'm nice. And some people are, some faculty are abused because they are nice or they don't pay attention or because the subject is not important. Here in the studies, I think most of the studies, we think the more the topic is important, the more it is plagiarism. It's the opposite. If it's not interesting and if it's not important. Plagiarism is more common among what? Topics that are not needed, topics that are not necessary, or let us say, not interesting. Yes. Now, some students, they deny. Even they do it, they don't know if they do it. Just complete denial. Just complete denial. And the third one is what? There is no what? Punishment. Absolutely. There is no punishment. So, all of these, just like, this is it's not like, unless that has been from one study, from different studies, these are the reasons. But mainly, you will see it among faculty who don't pay attention, who find their topic not interesting. The students, they see the topic not important, not interesting. And I think always I see, there is no, there is no punishment of them. They can what? They can cheat. Why not? Now, Scott, males or female, who has more, more accused of plagiarism? Males or females? Men, absolutely, you are right. For sure, the second reason because they are immature. Rahel, don't look. Those students who have partying a lot, yes? Always outside having fun. Or they have active social life. Everybody who has active social life, there is high risk of plagiarism. So, Scott, if you see me having fun a lot, understand I'm students will tend to what? To be engaged in plagiarism. What is it? What did you have? Okay. Now, absolutely every student who are really have a little bit, more likely to experience lower academic self-confidence. Those who don't believe in their ability, which we call self-efficacy. If you believe in your abilities, that you succeed, you are less likely to be engaged in pleasure. So, self-efficacy and self-confidence. Lots of us, fall under the pressure and the expectation and the socialization of parents. Our parents, want you to study medicine. So you will go to cheat in, high school because you want, peer pressure, parental pressure, social pressure, socialization pressure. I think type A personality. I think you don't know what is type A personality. Luckily, there are those who are really high achiever. Listen, Scott, high achiever. They are more likely to be engaged in what? In plagiarism. Because type A personality, they are stress proposed. They are more likely to experience stress. And the more you are frustrated and stressed and you are a higher achiever, you are more likely to what? To sneak and steal and steal. Type A personality. Although they are high achiever, this is their type profile psychology, but they are distressed and completely stressed. And therefore they are likely to use unethical means of plagiarism. Type A. Now, type B, if you don't know, Scott, what type B, you are more prone to have what? Heart attacks. So one is heart attacks, one is plagiarism. Much better to have type A personality. All right. Second one, if the topic, we did emphasize that, if the topic is not important, Scott, and you and me, we have naive psychology, if the topic is very important, students will steal or will plagiarize. But here is no. Most studies indicate if the topic is not important, and second, not interesting. That's a good one. That's really a little bit conflict with my thinking. I thought the higher, the important the topic, the more the cheating or plagiarism. It's the opposite. If the teacher is seen, perceived by students have no interest in the topic, or what is permissive. If the teacher permissive, the students will abuse him with the plagiarism. And this is absolutely, I think, it flow with what? With our thinking. And for sure, the last one, I think we repeated that the risk of being caught. The lower the risk of being caught, students, whether American, whether Saudi, whether Bangladesh, they will what? They will what? Especially if they don't cultivate the cultural or, integrity, cultural integrity. Some people even went further to describe plagiarism as sin. Sin. S-I-N, Scott. They describe it as sin. Now, and even they describe it as the worst sin. And I think we are coming right now how to help, how to avoid, how to prevent plagiarism. I think the first thing, the literature that you have that does not belong to you, it should support you. It should support you. You should cite it. But it should not substitute your work. Simply see it as a supportive system rather than you want to take it and you claim that is yours. So see the literature that you are reading, the article that you are reading, the article that you plan to copy. See it as source of support rather than not substitute for your own homework. So it should support you. You should cite it because usually you should come with the idea, summarize, and find literature that supports it. So it should support rather than taking it as your piece and you claim it's yours. So always see what you have in books, in psychology, or in sociology, or in cybersecurity as what? This literature should support you, but it should not substitute what you are thinking. The second criteria, use your own words. Trust me, sometimes, use your own words. We are really under pressure, naive, second language, English is a second language, much better to express your own words, even though you are just like, suppose the quality of your English centigrade is much better than copying and pasting somebody, cut and paste. Try always to use your own words. Avoid copying. Don't copy somebody else's work unless you cite it. And you cannot copy three, lines or 4 lines or 5 lines. And if you copy something, make quotation marks and the page number. If you copy 3 words from somebody else, you need just to cite the name. And you don't cite the first name, as usually I see here. Usually you cite the last name without mentioning the first name and the year. Between two brackets. The last name, comma, and the year. Without the initial name or, the first name. So usually the last name. Always, if you want to quote something, make them very short. You cannot quote 9 words, no, 10 sentences. Just 1 line, maximum 2 lines, and you have to cite the source, the author names, which is the last name, the year, and the page number. Page number, always. Second, if you copy anything without quotation mark, this is a pure plagiarism. So simply use your own words. If you want to copy something, rephrase it. And I will say rephrase it, wrong. Summarize it and cite. So if you quote, put the page number and the author names and the year. Second, we need to discriminate between summarizing, as I say always, and rephrasing. Try to avoid rephrasing. Summarize the idea and then cite what? The source that supports it. So try to avoid the whole concept of rephrasing. And always you need to use your own voice. Own voice. Now, don't recycle images. Copy from somebody else's image. You need to get permission. You need to get permission. And you need to ask for permission. Simply, if you want to summarize, I'll summarize in very simple. To try to use your own words. Cut and paste, avoid. If you want to quote, you have to quote just maybe no more than 1 line, but it has to be between 2 quotation marks and then the source, which is last name, year, and page number. Much better to summarize the idea rather than to rephrase. That's the whole summary of when you write even your assignment. Simply avoid copying and paste. Everybody knows. My mother knows that. Second, if you quote, put the page number and the year and the last name of the author. And I have usually, what I see here among the students, they write maybe 7 paragraphs, and then they put the reference. The reference. This is the wrong way. There is what we call this in-text citation. When you write, most of the students, they write, let us say, 3 pages, and at the end of the page, they write the reference. This is wrong. What we have here, in-text citation. If you are really summarizing things, usually you summarize the idea and support it by a kind of source. Either at the end of the sentence or the paragraph, you write what? The source. Write the source usually at the end of the sentence, which is the last name, the year. You don't write the date. The year and the page number. In-text citation. You write at the end of the sentence the source, which is usually the last name, and the year. Or, rather than at the end of the sentence, at the beginning of the sentence, you say, Elbedour, between two brackets and 90 in 2023, indicated. So either in the beginning or at the end. All right? If you have two authors, we speak about in text. In text. If you have two authors, all you have, for instance, Scott, and Elbedour. You don't write the first name. You don't write Scott's first name nor Salman's first name, just the last name and the year, and you say, what is this in English? And. Yes. If they are three, you should write the three authors. Scott, Elbedour, and Rachel, if they are three. So, can you cite more than one source? Suppose two studies, they speak about the same thing and similar. You can cite two studies. All you have to write the last name, the year, semicolon, the last name of the other author, and the year. This is with two or three authors. Can you cite four authors? Yes. Can you cite five authors? Yes. Simply, much better citing author rather than being accused by plagiarism. All right? So this is in-text citation. In-text citation. Can I cite the same source more than once? Yes. In the paragraph, you can cite Elbedour in 1994, and later on, Elbedour in 2000. It can be even the same year, the same article. Yes, you can cite the same author more than once. All right, in the same paragraph. All right? When do you include the page number? Only in cases of quotation. And don't write so many quotations in the paper, especially those who, whose language is not English. Usually they make so many quotations to avoid rephrasing and summarizing. I think I try to avoid writing so many quotations. That is, write the best quotation. They should be brief, short, and to the point, and the page number. Now, what will happen if you say Salman Elbedour as cited by Rachel? Do you cite both or the first one? Usually, you look for the first one that Rachel cited. If you can't find it, you can say cited and Rachel. And then in the reference list, you don't cite both. You cite only Rachel. You understand? So, for instance, Elbedour cited in Shakespeare. Okay. You got much better. Ethically, you have to go to Elbedour, original paper. If you cannot find Elbedour, then you have to cite what? Shakespeare in the reference. You don't cite Elbedour. All right? Is this clear? Okay, it's clear. And then, one question. Do I have to cite the last name or the first name? Rachel. We don't need the first name. But in the reference list, all right. Now, when you cite idea, opinion, information, what do? You write the source, yes? Even if it's opinion, information, Figure, illustration, you need to what? To support it with citation. Simply, my friends, and the last one. If you are a little bit confused if this is your own words or taking it from other source, what do? In this case, suppose you write a paragraph, and this is, you are really confused if this belongs to you or belongs to somebody else. Much better to rewrite it again. If you have doubts, if this belongs to you or does not belong to you, much better to write it again. My friends, simply, everything that you write, you need to cite it. Unless it's your own voice, unless it's your own words. Much better to cite, especially if you are writing scientific paper. Try to avoid quotations. But if you are planning to use quotation, make them short. You have to write the last name of the author and the page number. You can cite more than one source. You can cite 3 sources, 4, 5. In fact, you can cite the same source more than once in the same paragraph. Now, if you cite more than one, use the last name. Usually use the last name in every citation, in the text citation. Now, in our university, I think we are lucky. We're trying to prevent. We try to cultivate a culture of zero tolerance. Guess what? I think there is a high risk that you and me will be fired if they find us catching us plagiarizing. So, zero tolerance what? Philosophy. Everybody speaks at this university about, plagiarism and artificial intelligence. Use your own knowledge. Use your own words. Always use quotations. Try to use your own words. Even 10th grade, much better than borrowing and stealing, somebody's ideas. Now, sometimes you say, these are my ideas, but trust me, in psychology, they have investigated everything. And the more competent you are, the more you know whom to cite. So it depends how much you are in the field of research. You know that, in psychology, they explored everything. I can't say one sentence that I can say mine. You understand, Scott? That's the whole idea also. We have this dilemma where everything has been investigated million times. Now, if I want to say something that will correspond with a psychologist, they will say, these are not your ideas. These are not your opinions. So the best way is to avoid, support it with citation. And you need to check if the citation that you are supporting your ideas, opinion correspond with your what? Idea here. Don't only just cut and paste references and add them to support, because this is also plagiarism. Suppose I'm writing about what? Schizophrenia. And suddenly I'm citing work that relate to what? Love and hate. That, if they catch me, this is a plagiarism. So simply, we need to cultivate a culture of what? Integrity, honesty. Zero tolerance here. If you speak with Dr. Hassan, if you speak with Rachel, I call her in Hebrew and Arabic Rahel. Everybody says, hey, avoid plagiarism. So we have zero tolerance philosophy orientation at this university. And I think, any university will blow by cultivating what? A kind of culture of integrity in everything, which is based on what? Fairness, trust, honesty. respect and responsibility. And then I think here they are using, different devices to figure out if there is a plagiarism. And sometimes I think, maybe they're a little bit tolerant, but slowly, slowly, we need to instill these ideas of integrity. In other institutions, trust me, we have one student at Howard right now. I will tell you how she is doing plagiarism. She's copying the same paper that she gave it to me, and the same paper she gave it to Scott, her second instructor. And this is a plagiarism. Yes. She is using the same paper for two instructors. And right now, I think we'll fire her after 5 years of paying money. And she, just like because she submitted the same paper for what? For two different instructors. This is other type of plagiarism. So simply, I think, they are discussing Dr. Hanif, Dr. Hassan, Scott, Rahel, Rachel, ways to prevent plagiarism. And I think one way really, just like while I was reading the literature, in every assignment, they need to sign that they promised they did not cheat, and then they are accountable. And this is what we call this, to sign an honor of what? Yes. I think they do it in other institutions, Scott. So maybe we should implement it here. I like my students. I don't like to introduce other ideas, but they use it in many, many universities in the United States, in my country back home. But the best thing is what? I really trust the best preventive method. Build self-efficacy. You can succeed. Build self-efficacy that you don't need to borrow or steal, from other people's ideas or copy and paste. Simply, you can make it by your own. Believe in your abilities, which is, I think, what we define as self-efficacy. Because most of the people, they don't look about, we are not here novelists, all of us foreigners. We look at ideas, the underlying idea. Are they coherent? Are you showing that you are competent, understanding, the underlying concept? And that's all, whether in physics, chemistry, or everything. You don't need, to be Shakespeare or novelist to express in perfect English. And I think cross-culture, variation of plagiarism, I think we need to consider it. Trust me, it's more common in my back home than here. And trust me, it's more common in some institution in the United States. Even in Washington, even here in Washington, D.C., it's more common because of cultural variation. Because I think, international students also under heavy pressure to succeed. Second, the other risk factor there, English as second language. So all of these variables we need to take them into account. But at the end, what matters is really self-competency, self-efficacy. You can succeed in any culture. You can succeed in any topic. And I tell you one thing. They say, why Oxford? Why students of Oxford are excelling much better than just like neighboring other universities? They took all of the variables. Whether, poverty, family size, all of the variables. And you know what is the most predictive of success? From all of the variables, thousands of variables, the most predictive power is what? How much time you spend studying. So you can come from high class, you can come from poverty, the time what? Time allocated, that means engagement. Engagement time accounted much better than money, that books, than anything. So how much you spend time studying is the most predictive variable to predict success in the university. Other variables that you are poor, other variables that you are coming from large family, Other variables that your English is your third language, first language. The most predictive power, how much you spend 100% engaged. Let us say a class of 45, they found in the United States that this is allocated time, 45 minutes. The engaged time is only 12 minutes in high school. So the more you are engaged academically, the more this is the most beneficial more than anything else. So spend more time studying, spend time more engaged in your work. I think you will feel better. You will feel what? You will feel self-confident. Other variables, yes, maybe they are not important. Yes, maybe they are important, but the most predictive power is engagement in what? In study. And thank you, everybody. I hope you enjoyed this presentation.
Yeah, we can look at everyone now. People have questions. There we go.
Scott, did you enjoy the lecture?
That was a really good presentation.
Do you have any question, my friends? Hello? Do they hear us?
They hear us, yep. You just raise your hand.
Thank you, brother. Any questions?
You did such a good job. They have no questions.
They have no question. Don't copy and paste. And spend more time studying and enjoy your what? Enjoy your classes. All right? And I think, one of the variables, my friends, social what? Social activity is bad behavior, And partying a lot is bad, So spend more time studying, enjoy what you do, and be engaged. And I think this is the best powerful predictor of your success. Whether you are coming from Bangladesh or you're coming from Jerusalem, how much time you study, that is the best and the most preventive and powerful for your success. I think we are done. Thank you, everybody, for coming.